A fire broke out just a block away from San Jose State, and now a Spartan football player is in the hospital.
Green was added to blue and gold this week. See how Spartans celebrated Earth Day.
I'm Janet Garcia, live in downtown San Jose. The Task Force on Diversity submitted its list of recommendations to President Kaomi. What does SJSU do now? I'll have a live report. Update News starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Hello and welcome to Update News. I'm Rigoberto Gomes.
And I'm Christian Carrasco. Thanks for joining us.
Developing news story for SJSU community, a Spartan football player is in the hospital in critical condition. 20-year-old linebacker Jared Leaf was severely burned as he tried to flee his burning apartment Wednesday night. Update News reporter Victor Guzman said it happened just a block from campus.
A pathway of black dust led to the third-floor apartment, where the fire broke out around 11:30 Wednesday night.
In the distance, like maybe 2 buildings away, you can see like some smoke rising.
Burnt furniture and a shoe were in front of the apartment building on 8th Street, a block away from the San Jose State campus.
One of them ran out saying fire, and we just called 911 and we ran out, and that was about it. And another one of them ran out 5 minutes later on fire.
The fire started in the living room, and while one student got out safely, his roommate and SJSU junior linebacker Jared Leaf suffered second-degree burns on his back and arms as he ran through the flames to escape. Leaf shared the apartment with other members of SJSU football, including junior quarterback Joe Gray and senior defensive end Sean Bacon. Both were not present at the time of the fire. The fire department says an SJSU male student resident of the apartment had lit a candle but failed to properly dispose of the match that had started the fire. The fire department says if something like this happens, immediately call 911. They also said they're very cognitive of the San Jose State neighborhood that has multiple residents and students dwelling in the area. 2 other apartments suffered water and fire damage. 11 residents have been displaced, and the Red Cross is helping them find emergency housing. Firefighters had the fire under control after midnight. On campus, Victor Guzman, Update News.
The SJSU community is waiting to see what happens next following recommendations from a diversity task force to improve the racial climate on campus. Update News reporter Janet Garcia is live with a report on what the administration plans to do. Janet?
It was just last week that the Task Force on Diversity, after a 2-month investigation, made its recommendations public. This, of course, after 4 white students accused of an alleged hate crime against an African-American roommate in the dorms. Associate Student and Intercultural Affairs Director Gabriel Rodriguez was a member of the task force. He says from a bad situation, something good came out.
I think it's a really good thing, even though, the tragedy happened. It was able to make this a catalyst where now we're going to be able to have certain things that we can do.
The key recommendations are to create an Office of Diversity, an extensive diversity training for the faculty and RAs, and user-friendly link to report anonymous incidents of discrimination. SJSU Deputy Provost Annie Feinstein says the university will fully cooperate.
As collaborative as possible, and to certainly ensure that the recommendations that are specific to academic affairs.
The recommendations are many, over 50 I believe, and quite comprehensive in nature, really trying to pull in all those viewpoints so that we can move forward as firmly and as strongly as possible.
Students say the recommendations will help in knowing how to handle a situation like this.
Develop a protocol to follow, maybe some rules, or implement the rules more, or have students or people become aware of what is appropriate and not appropriate. So I think
the university will take a close look at all the recommendations and will produce an implementation timeline within 45 days. Reporting live from San Jose, Janet Garcia, Update News.
Students' unrest continues at SJSU. Newly elected AS President Gary Daniels is calling for a student walkout over the controversial student success fees. The protest is being organized next Tuesday by the Students for Quality Education and Students Organization. Daniel expects about 1,000 people. He says a big turnout could stop the fees from happening. He also says that if you don't want to pay $800 next year, come to the walkout. The walkout is scheduled to be Tuesday, April 29th at 11:45 in front of the event center.
The tower lawn looked greener this past week during Earth Day. Update News reporter Dustin Palacios joined in on the festivities to see how students are going green. Live music and dance sounded throughout campus.
Filled campus grounds on Earth Day. Tower Lawn had informational booths on topics such as organic foods and natural makeup, snacks, and environmental friendly games. There were even some special furry visitors. One of the first of many activities for San Jose State's Earth Day celebration was welcoming little guys like this onto Tower Lawn. Students also wanted the San Jose State community to be aware of environmental issues.
I believe the benefits of reaching out to students in the community and also on campus is really going to benefit them in the long run, knowing where and how to reuse and conserve the materials that are finite in this world, and how living a sustainable life leads to a better quality of life.
Participants were asked to write down and pledge how they would benefit the environment, not only on Earth Day, but every day. Freshman Noreen Trigano pledged to take shorter showers to conserve water, but says there is still progress to be made on campus.
Like in the bathrooms, I see people leave like the sinks on, and then it's like really wasting the water when we're in the drought, so I like to see the difference on that.
Others feel the celebration of Earth Day continues to make a positive impact on the environment.
I don't know, I think we're getting there, definitely. I think it helps to spread the word of environmental issues and helps us just really like have that day to think about it and have it in the forefront of our minds.
The founder of Earth Day, Gaylord Nelson, was a graduate from San Jose State. On campus, Destiny Palacios, Update News.
The unsung heroes of San Jose State were honored this week. It was the third annual Student Leadership Gala. Dozens of students and organizations gathered in the Student Union Ballroom and were recognized for their leadership and community contributions. Students received certificates, awards, or sashes to commemorate their achievements. Many students were humbled to be a part of such a celebration.
I think having a leadership gala is amazing. It's, a lot of the times people take those leadership roles without ever, thinking about the recognition side of things because they do it out of passion. And to honor those individuals that take the time and effort to do that and give back to the community, I think is something that's really special.
Over 100 students were present to take part in the festivities.
Coming up, another man's trash is a Spartan's treasure.
A garden will soon be opening up in San Jose, but first we asked students what recommendations they have for President Kayomi to change our campus.
I would like to have more grassy area because last year we had a lot more space for, room for activities, people to hang out, just chill, and now all this space is restricted by all these fences and stuff.
It'd be nice to see President Kayomi. I know who he is, but if you ask I was trying to have a discussion with somebody earlier in the day and they didn't know who he was or what he looks like. I feel like he doesn't make himself very involved in the camp. I don't really see him at student events or anything.
We should have some automated purified water dispensers just, distributed across campus so students can have a chance to get some clean drinking water when they need to.
I'll say more protection, more police officers around campus during the weekends to keep people safe because around campus it's pretty much violence everywhere.
We should have more events to bring more people together. Even though it'll be little, we can have still a small community.
San Jose State nursing students want the community to think about donating bone marrow. They organized a donor drive in the Art Quad this week. Nursing students talk to potential donors in a booth set up on campus. The donor drive was organized with the San Francisco Blood Cancer Donor Center. Flyers, bracelets, and shirts were used to promote the donor drive. Nursing students encourage students passing by to sign up.
Blood cancer is such a big deal, and it's so hard to find a match for a bone marrow transplant. We want to get as many people as we can on the list.
They're brushing your cheek, yeah, exactly.
Where my donut?
Chris, you get a donut. What with your donut?
I learned about the different requirements needed to be able to register, and then the fact that there's 2 different ways to be able to donate.
It's pretty neat. I think it's necessary and to have people understand like how to help others.
The fight against blood cancer continues, and the nursing students will have another bone marrow donor event on Sunday in Depot Park from 12 to 4 p.m. in Santa Cruz. You can be part of this movement by getting involved with the Heart of American Bone Marrow Donor Registry located in San Francisco. The Vital and the LGBT Resource Center presented the Camouflage Closet documentary on campus this week.
Experiences, as well as the strengths and challenges that are faced going into the military as a way to go to the most
unique filmmaking.
The producer gave the audience background information on the film. The documentary follows LGBT veterans' roads to recovery after their tours in the military.
When people couldn't say who they were, and when there were, virtual witch hunts to eradicate LGBT people from the military. So I think that their stories were very poignant in talking about those experiences and how it traumatized them.
For more information, contact the Vital and LGBT Resource Center in Clark Hall 240A.
Old Junk turned to funk on the San Jose State campus this week with a fashion show.
Numerous SJSU business alumni and owners held a roundtable to give tips to aspiring business students. Held in the library, the title of the session was Making It Happen After the Business Plan. Speakers included co-founders and CEOs from Shop Intuit, BioReady, and Dishcrawl, which are prior winners of the Silicon Valley Business Plan competition.
One mistake that I can tell students not to do is don't be afraid and, be naive. Don't be afraid to look stupid, because the more naive you are and the more sort of, oh, I didn't know I could do this, but I did it anyways, that's what's going to get you ahead in the future, right? The things that you think you shouldn't do are definitely the things that you should be doing. Even if you fail, it's all good.
Students in attendance were not afraid to soak up the free professional advice given by the panel of CEOs.
I think the knowledge that you learn is just priceless. You get to learn from a lot of people that have good experience on what they're doing. So I think that's what's a good takeaway from this.
Although the last event for the spring, the Alumni Entrepreneur Series resumes again beginning next semester. Old Junk turned to funk on the San Jose State campus this week with the fashion show. SJSU Associated Students ended its Earth Day program with trash and fashion. Students strutted and struck a pose in secondhand clothing and recycled material. Designs were made of at least 80% post-consumer material. Winner Evelyn Nguyen designed her dress with Spartan Daily newspaper clippings.
I find it very fascinating and amazing how you can turn something artists can turn something that is someone's trash into something very beautiful and very pleasing to the eye.
Judges had a variety of creations to choose from. Also walking the runway were models wearing recycled materials such as chip bags, paper, and trash bags. The Associated Students had a preview day for the community garden. Update News reporter Heather Miller has more about the garden.
The Associated Students Community Campus Garden is soon going to be open to the public. Because of Earth Day, they gave a preview of what is to be expected.
We have this spot now to start a community garden for students and community to learn about how to plant and produce food.
The garden is located right off of campus on 8th and San Salvador. During the Earth Day preview, free fruits and vegetables were handed out to the community. Seeds were also given out along with seed bombs.
We're making seed bombs, so basically they're a mixture of compost, clay, and seeds. And you mix it all up, you make little balls, and you let them harden in the sun, and then you can chuck them into like deserted dirt lots or fields that are kind of ugly, and when the rain comes, they'll break down a little clay ball, and flowers will grow.
Aceto says the empty plot of land will soon be a garden.
So we're estimating over summer we're going to start getting it started, getting volunteers, making it look nicer, and then probably in fall it's going to open up. Probably won't produce until about a year.
If you want more information, visit the AS House. Heather Miller, Update News.
Brass bells sounded Tuesday night in the music concert hall. Trombones, French horns, euphoniums, and tubas played in the harmony at the SJSU Brass Ensemble. Students paid $5 and guests $10 to listen to the 6 instrumental pieces. The ensemble was directed by Dance and Music Associate Professor Catherine Adasi. SJSU student Jonathan Su was the assistant conductor.
This was the brass ensemble, and we mainly did pieces by Debussy and Wagner, kind of contrasting composers, and we did just a couple of pieces from each composer.
Su is a single credential student. He wants to become a music teacher and teach middle schoolers.
One SJSU student is not letting her disease get her down. Melody Gonzalez reports more on this Spartan story.
Time is too precious. Too precious to blend in and avoid standing out. In a campus of more than 31,000 students, one student has beat the odds.
I believe that you should always be the change that you want to see. You know, don't wait for somebody else to do it. You be the one that makes the change.
But it took 10 days in intensive care and several months of recovery for SJSU student Ravinder Kaur to realize that life is too short.
It was painful. It was so painful.
In September of 2013, Kaur was diagnosed with Wegener's granulomatosis, a rare inflammatory disease that resulted in lung tumors. Having to withdraw from her fall semester classes, Kaur continued to take advantage of the time she thought she had left to live.
Every day I would just 3 hours, 4 hours, I would sit down and study, read my communication studies books, read my geology books, read my math book like I normally would as if I had gone to class.
Although she received no grade for her work, Kaur completed every reading assignment in hope that she would soon return to SJSU.
I promised myself and I promised everyone in my family that when I do come back to SJSU, I'm going to continue being a 4.0 student, continue being an honor student.
It was through prayer that Kaur found a sense of hope.
It's so healing. It's a healing thing for me to be able to pray and to be able to feel that inner peace. I go outside, you know, I'll sit in the sun and, you know, I'll cover my head as like a sign of respect, and I'll listen to the prayers or I'll read along with the prayers, and it's a form of like meditation for me.
After months of staying positive, Kaur beat the disease. With no time to waste, Kaur returned to SJSU.
Coming back in this first week of school, I just went full blown. I may have not worked so hard, but now I'm going to work even harder.
Approaching her second chance at life with no regrets, Kaur can be seen making moves in and out of the classroom.
I'll dance pretty much anywhere. I'll be dancing in the corner. I'll be dancing when I'm waiting for the bus. I don't even care because, you know, I feel like music is meant for, you know, to be enjoyed.
With music as her outlet, Kaur has vowed to pursue her dreams.
Hear me holla as I scream, because I'm going to live my dream. I'm a teenage prodigy. I really needed a creative outlet, so I started rapping. I started writing poetry. And that really helped me kind of put my emotions on paper and music. You know, that's what helped me heal.
Kaur's healing process helped her develop a new outlook on life.
So many self-esteem issues, you know, and so many, like, you know, always thinking, man, somebody's watching me, man, I'm kind of chunky, man, my skin, my acne, la-di-da. So from that journey to now, you know, I look back and I'm thinking, I was like, you really just have to learn how to love yourself. I've come up with my own 6 principles of life: sing, dance, love, pray, smile, put your life down for justice.
Carr continues to amaze not only herself, but fellow professor Dr. Barrera.
If Ravi's pushing through all this, doing amazing stuff, then some of my problems seem like that's a smaller issue. I can handle that too,
With time being of the essence, Carr has begun to plan her future in the police force.
Even if it's me, just one female Indian American woman that's gonna make a difference and is gonna step away from the crowd, it could be me. So from there to now, that journey has just been growing and learning how to believe in yourself, follow your dreams, like they say. So what doesn't kill you does make you stronger.
That was reporter Melody Gonzalez with Update News. And wow, that was a great heartfelt piece, and I'm probably going to steal a couple of her dance moves.
I'm Dustin Dorsey, and coming up, the track team is off to a fast start in their first ever season and looks to finish strong. And later, we walk off to the softball diamond where the Spartans had an exciting series of games. But first, we ask students about local Bay Area teams in the playoffs.
I would say the Golden State Warriors winning the championship. I follow basketball a lot more than hockey, unfortunately. And, we've been struggling for quite a long time, so it'd be nice to see us get a ring.
I'd rather see the Sharks take on the Stanley Cup and win that. I mean, come on, I've been a hockey fan, and I think they deserve it a lot more than the Warriors. They have a lot more heart, I think.
I don't really care because I don't really watch sports in the first place.
Definitely the Warriors win the championship, the NBA Finals, mainly because I'm not a huge hockey fan. I'm more of a basketball fan. I've been playing since age 3, and so I've always liked the Warriors as well, and I'm a huge Bay Area rep for basketball. So
I'm the Sharks win the Stanley Cup. I've been a Sharks fan since I was little, had season tickets, or since forever my family has.
Neither. I'm a Miami fan.
Free yoga was offered to students and the community on campus this week. Be the Change Yoga is a donation-based yoga studio that wants to promote healthy living. The studio was created to make it easier for college students and the community to enjoy yoga for little or no money. Be the Change hosted 2 days of free yoga on the Associated Students lawn.
We're really about increasing the access to yoga, and we do that by letting people pay what they can afford to pay. So we suggest between $5 to $20 per class.
If you want more information about Be the Change Yoga, check out these social media websites. And now, Dustin joins us for an update on SJSU athletics. Dustin?
Thanks, Christian. Let's get right to it. After 16 years without a track team, San Jose State has returned with the women's team.
This year, San Jose State began their first ever season for a women's team in university history. Surely, this comes with some added pressure. SJSU was once known as Speed City, with some of the best male runners in the world. They included Olympic medalists John Carlos and Tommy Smith, whose statues are an icon on campus. The women on the team understand the history and look forward to continuing the legacy.
Hopefully one day we'll be as good as they were in the 60s and represent the school really well in the future.
From back in the 60s, we were amazing. Our track team was known around the world. We have statues of Olympians in our campus. It means a lot that we finally brought it back.
In early February, the women's track team made history of its own, competing as the first athletes wearing the SJSU women's track team colors. So far this season, SJSU has competed in the San Francisco State Distance Carnival and the Johnny Mathis Invite, as well as other track meets in the Mountain West Conference. The team is mostly built around distance runners who are also a part of the cross-country team at San Jose State. SJSU track has 21 athletes on the team. The ladies believe that the year has been very successful overall.
It's been a learning year because we've never had track before at our program, so we're learning as we're going, and I think we're getting better each time.
Well, we've had a really good recruiting year. You know, it's one of the best I've ever had, and so it's a really exciting time to be a part of the program.
This weekend, the team is competing in the Bulldog Classic at Fresno. The Mountain West Championships are in mid-May. The track team has recently signed several high-quality recruits, including Leah Lambert. Lambert, seen here competing at her high school, is one of the top 10 recruits in the nation coming out of high school. Still uncertain is whether a men's team will make its way back to San Jose State.
Coach Petersmeyer says this is a building year for the team and they should be more successful in the future. And now, there's a tight race for the Mountain West Women's Softball Championship, and the Lady Spartans are in the thick of it. The Fresno State Bulldogs traveled to San Jose to take on the Spartans in a doubleheader Tuesday afternoon. In the first game, the Bulldogs out-hit the Spartans and won the game 8-1. In the second half of the doubleheader, the Spartans settled down and did a better overall job in hitting and pitching. In the final inning of the second game, the Spartans were down 1 run with a runner on first and second. Jesse Huffstetler stepped up and smacked a 3-run home run that gave the Spartans the victory 5-3. The win leaves the Spartans within 1 game of first place and gives them a chance to repeat as conference champions.
So we know the standings. I don't think it adds more pressure. I think if anything, it makes us more excited. You know, we want to be out there. We want to be at regionals. We want another ring, you know, so we want it. Now it's just time to go get it.
The Spartans were shut out Wednesday, but there are still 9 games remaining in their season. San Jose State softball player Jesse Huffstetler is making quite an impact on the diamond. Update News reporter Ryan Sillipan says she's improved a great deal since first becoming a Spartan.
Jesse Huffstetler is proving there's no such thing as a sophomore slump. The infielder and designated player, otherwise known as a designated hitter, leads the Spartans in batting average, hits, runs, doubles, and walks. Huffstetler is currently batting .440. She leads the Mountain West Conference in batting. Her 60 hits ties her for first place in the conference.
I think your sophomore year tests you more than any other year because you have a little more experience, but you're not really that experienced still. I mean, it's really all that you put into over the summer after your freshman year to show how much you grow.
Huffstetler's primary position has been DP this year. Most position players play both offense and defense, but her coaches feel she's the right person for the job.
When you're a DP, you just got to have a mindset of staying in the game when you're not in the game out there on the field, and just studying what is going to happen next and just being prepared to come in and do what you got to do because you're there to hit.
Huffstetler knows her role is simple: get on base and drive in runs.
So I think being a DP is more mentally tough than it is than people think, because you only get that one chance to do well, and then you can't turn it over on making a really great defensive play.
Huffstetler will look to keep her hot bat going this weekend as the Spartans on a 3-game road trip against Nevada. Reporting from San Jose, Ryan Sillipan, Update News.
And that's it for sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dustin.
That'll do it all for now. Thanks for joining us.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching SJSU Update News. Also, check out the Update News app on the Spartan Dailies app.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.